Hey, listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and NPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype, we got Josh.
Hey.
We got a big show to get through this week. We got all of SummerSlam, all 11 matches, and so we're just going to crack straight on into it with the very first match. It was on the pre-show, Big E versus Baron Corbin. Baron had done a little bit of a runner with Big E's Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, it was like Corbin thought, if I have this, I have money. It's apparently misunderstood the whole point of the briefcase.
Even though he's had it and cashed it in before.
Yeah. It was really just to get Big E on the card and get him his briefcase back and continue the bad luck for Corbin.
Yeah, I've noticed Corbin on socials has been winning a little bit in Las Vegas, so maybe his luck's about to turn around, but when it did come down to SummerSlam, yeah, it just gave Big E that big celebration win, as you say, got both of them on the card and gave him a bit of a spot. Now let's talk about the first match actually on the card when the show opens up proper. It was the Raw Tag Team Championships. AJ Styles and Omos were defending them against the unlikely duo of RK Bro.
You champs! Ho, ho, ho.
As expected and as wanted.
Yeah. We still don't know how long RK Bro is going to last. All we know is it's going to be dang sure entertaining while it lasts.
Yeah, these two have been doing amazing things, and even, through their entrance and through their match here, they just keep improving on what they have been doing with this this unlikely duo gimmick. You watch their backstage interviews they do, and Randy's sort of becoming more and more accepting of Riddle. And it's cool to see that evolve rather than what they do quite often and just sort of sit and stagnate.
Yeah. It's just the Riddle match, I guess, because remember, he formed a team with Pete Dunne, the least emotive person in NXT, and made him laugh. And then he's turned around and done it with the word Randy Orton, who's known to just drop a person on a drop of a hat whenever he wants to.
Yeah, I think it's perfect for Riddle. He's got a good CV behind him.
That said, the Riddle did get dropped by Randy Orton previously, so that hat could still drop.
Could you really trust Randy if he didn't RKO you?
I don't know. Yeah, you're kind of a good point. If he doesn't RKO you, is he really your friend?
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump around the card randomly because that's what I'm allowed to do. SmackDown Tag Team Championships. We're going to stick with the tag teams. The Usos and the Mysterios.
This was an alright match.
We're getting closer and closer.
Yeah. The Usos retained, so we keep the bloodline in gold.
And we, I guess, move more towards the Mysterio breakup. It looked like they were going to head down the route very fast, and then they sort of backed off. I know I'm seeing reports on dirt sheets that Ray doesn't really want to commit to the storyline and wants to keep tagging with his son, so we'll have to wait and see what's actually in the future for the Mysterios. Maybe just a nice amicable breakup.
I'd rather commit to it.
Oh, I would too.
Look, yeah, listen, not that he's ever going to get
it. Ray, we know you're listening. Listen up.
I would say it would be the best thing that could happen for Dominic. Ray gets to put his son over in a marquee match at a pay-per-view, especially if they did it the long drawn-out plan that I came up with mirroring Undertaker Kane. Ray doesn't want to fight his son. Dominic does everything he can to get his dad to fight him. And then eventually it happens at WrestleMania. And Dominic gets to go over. You get to make Dominic a bigger star that way.
It'll just
and then Dominic can come back to the good side once that's over with. Once he's proven to his dad that he can do it.
Yeah, it all sounds all great to me, and I hope it sounded great to you, Ray, as you were listening to this, okay? I hope this has changed your mind. And if the WWE do commit to any sort of Ray versus Dominic storyline, we will claim that we changed your mind, okay? We will take credit for that. let's jump around. We had a couple matches here. Let's talk about Alexa Bliss, Eva Marie. Nice little short one. Second match on the card.
I wouldn't use the word nice. It was not a good match.
What?
It was short. The only good thing about it was that it was short. No matter what Bliss did, it didn't matter. It was not good. I'm sad that Eva's come back and they're not really doing anything with her. But on the bright side, they're at least trying to make a star out of Dewdrop. They're using Eva. Alexa Bliss is Alexa Bliss. We don't have to worry anything about her.
We didn't see too much crazy voodoo stuff.
No, we just saw a lot of Lily.
Don't touch Lily.
Yep.
Seems like it's pretty self-explanatory. In terms of where either of these are going forward, obviously Dewdrop turning on Eva Marie is the obvious path. And Alexa Bliss, no clue on that one.
Yeah, we never know what they're going to do with Alexa Bliss. At least this version of her. We already know what they're doing with Eva Marie because she tacked Dewdrop on Raw. So, and that partnership is over with. So that is definitely their next direction.
Yeah. And we'll see what else they do in the rest of that division, which also had a championship match. See, I've still got my segues here. And it was a triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. Nikki, almost a superhero, came in as the champion to defend against Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair.
It was a good match. Could have been a little bit longer. Could have had a different outcome, but it is what it is.
Not title reign number 27?
Yeah, it is. It's fine. Charlotte is great. So whatever their plan is, I'm fine with it. I would have liked to see Nikki have it a little bit longer, but they've clearly got something in mind. And I have a strange, weird suspicion it may involve the other title, which we'll get to later on, I'm sure.
Oh, we'll find time. Yeah. Honestly, this match was just sad for a couple of reasons, right? Like, as you say, Nikki loses the title after having such an amazing run. My only hope for this is that Nikki doesn't disappear, doesn't ride off into the sunset, and sticks around. You know, she proved she can go with Charlotte. She proved she can go with Rhea. There's no reason she shouldn't fall out or shouldn't stay in that upper echelon of the Raw Women's division. There's no reason we can't do our eventual clash with Alexa Bliss still, just now that there's no title.
That may be why she lost the title. Is so they can do that feud without the worry about having to put the title on Alexa as a result.
Maybe. I feel like you still could have waited a couple more months. Overall Nikki's reign is just been really short. Not Charlotte Flair short, but very short in general. And Charlotte didn't need number 32. But hey, we'll use that classic catchphrase of we'll have to see where they're going with this. And yeah, sad shrugs. And let's just continue the theme, the women's division and the sad shrugs. I'm gonna try and run down what happened with the SmackDown Women's Championship. Obviously, the champion Bianca Belair was meant to be defending against Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks cannot be here. They announced that she will be replaced by, and Carmella comes out. It looks like our match is going to be Carmella versus Bianca Belair. And then the arena pops off as Becky Lynch's music plays. The man comes down to the ring, beats the ever-loving HE double hockey sticks out of Carmella, and tries to convince Bianca Belair to let her have a title match, because why not? And for some reason, Bianca Belair agrees to have a match with Becky Lynch, and then proceeds to lose in 26 seconds.
All right. Two things. One, it proved how naive Bianca is, that she's going to have to get a little mean if she wants to stay at the top. That said, she had a great title reign. It was a little derailed by the injury to Bayley, but it was a great title reign. Second, Becky Lynch has become everything she hated, as she is now the establishment. She's not the anti-establishment like she was on her way up the card. She and I alluded to it earlier. I have this weird, sick feeling they're going to unify the titles again, and that's why Charlotte picked the title back up. Maybe this time permanently unify them.
Maybe we'll have to wait and see what they do with them. At least in the short term, as you say, Becky Lynch has become that sort of like, hey, you still love me, right? Kind of bad person, like fans aren't gonna cheer Bianca Belair losing in 20 seconds, and that immediately was gonna get her a chorus of boos. Bianca Belair, you say, highlights her naiveness, but I don't know. I feel like there was other ways to pull off something like this, unless you are trying to rush Becky Lynch as champion to rush something else, whether that happens to be the unification, as you say, or some other title match that they're trying to line up. Overall, this just screamed rush to me. Like there was no reason that couldn't have just been a face-off and come back later kind of deal.
Yeah, except maybe this is what they're doing is a vehicle to change Bianca's character. She realizes that she was starstruck by Becky. She accepted a match she shouldn't have accepted. She wasn't ready for, and she lost her title as a result. So she finds her inner mean girl, and at some point she comes back for the title. Whether it's Becky still holding it or not won't matter. It's just a different character for Bianca. But yeah, it could be something for Becky that's just they needed the title on her because they got plans, and Becky was available, and she's back.
Yeah. We don't quite know the reasons behind some of those decisions, and maybe they'll become clear in the coming months, or maybe we'll just never, ever get answers. And we're going to jump on to one match, hopefully more, before our song. We're going to talk about Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal. She wasn't a long one.
No, and I'm sad for that, because I think they could have really done something if they'd been giving like 10 minutes.
We got 5.
Yep, we didn't even get 5. Yeah, it is what it is. Drew won. There's no reason to do another match. And Jinder got hindered.
Jinder got hindered again.
This time by Drew.
Yeah, I guess it almost feels like we're just, stalling for Drew now. It's like, oh, he can't challenge for the WWE title because Bobby at that point in time still had the title. What do we do? I don't know, just give him a feud with Jinder or something. And I don't know, it feels like Drew's almost been directionless, even though he's had this feud with Jinder. It's like, what do we do with him if he isn't the champion kind of situation. So this next month or two for Drew, as he dumps off Jinder Mahal out the back and looks forward, I think is going to be really important to see where he ends up.
You know what you need to help Drew? A WWE draft.
They'll do it.
Send him to SmackDown.
Just getting him some fresh people around him will honestly just do him wonders. Because, he did take on a lot of challenges when he was champion. He was on top of Raw for basically a year. There's only so much left for him there. Some sort of shake-up probably would do him wonders.
It would do wonders for a lot of people right now to have a draft.
We'll have to see what happens in the future, because all that I can tell you is that our future contains our entrance theme of the week, and for no reason yet, because we haven't talked about it, it is going to be Brock Lesnar's theme playing for you right about now. And you're back to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and NPR. I'm Grady, he's Josh. We still have 4 more matches to get through. United States Championship, it was on the line, and we got ourselves a brand new champion.
Yeah, it was a good match. Damian Priest better be thanking his lucky stars that Sheamus was in the match with him, because Sheamus absolutely saved his life. at one point.
It was still a rough fall, too.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of when, on his way out, Ryback saved the life of Kalisto.
Mm.
That's the only well, I guess not, because that match was also for the United States Championship. So
Stop comparing Ryback to people, okay?
Yeah, that's the only comparison, though, because Sheamus is actually good. We like Sheamus. We like Damian Priest too.
Yeah.
And they both still work for WWE. Neither of the other people that are match work for WWE anymore.
It's true.
Yeah, we'll have to see what kind of champion Priest becomes, but this was definitely his time. We knew it headed going in that Priest had to win, so we have to see who's going to be his first feud after this.
Alrighty, well, we've got about 4 minutes each left for the 3 main events. Which one do you want to talk about first? Which one do you want to get out of the way?
Let's go with the one. Let's go with one that doesn't have a title on the line.
Edge versus Seth Rollins.
This was a barn burner match, definitely. Edge and Seth just went to absolute war, which we kind of expect from Seth, because let's face it, Seth is like top tier when it comes to in the ring. Edge is in his 40s and is still putting on matches like this.
Yeah, Edge proved he can still go. Like, I feel like that's entirely what his run has been, minus the injury hiccup, right? It's just been, hey guys, look, I can still go. I can go with the best of them.
And unfortunately for us, Rollins lost. We wanted Edge to put him over, but that didn't happen.
No, Edge, instead of putting him over, made him tap out.
All in all, that's the kind of guy that it really doesn't matter. He'll still be hanging around the main event, especially now that his wife is back. I still remember the man's man shirt. That's just hilarious. Yeah, but I have no idea what's next for Edge. That's like a big question mark.
Yeah, like this match
really,
is
yeah, he can't actually go after Roman again. So who does it? So what? And they dealt away with this storyline. They dealt away with Randy Orton. What's up? What could possibly be left for Edge at this point?
We'll have to wait and see. And now I'm just going to move us on into the WWE Championship match, because it's about the same length as time we have remaining on the show. Bobby Lashley, Goldberg. It was referee stoppage.
Yeah. This was okay. It wasn't. I don't think we expected a lot, but hey, we got a longer match than we were expecting. We expected 5 minutes max. We expected the length of Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal for this match. We got 7 minutes.
Yeah, but unfortunately we're going to have to see it again.
Yeah, but I have a feeling... But we have a reason for seeing it again. And secondly, I think we're not going to have the title on the line that time. I have a feeling that this rematch is going to take place at the Saudi show.
I believe so.
Between now and then, at some point, Goldberg's going to get his hands on Bobby Lashley for getting his hands on Goldberg's son.
Gage.
Yeah, and that is going to result in Big E cashing in. And he will be the WWE champion. Then they don't have to worry about the title. Bobby Lashley can get his keister kicked by Goldberg for Goldberg's final match. And everybody but Bobby Lashley goes home happy.
And MVP, probably. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Signed, sealed, delivered, book it. We're Dunskies. And that gives us a little bit extra time as well for this last match, because she's a doozy. There's a lot to talk about. Roman Reigns versus John Cena for the Universal Championship. John Cena makes his return, stares him down, challenges Roman. Roman's making proclamations about how, hey, if I can't come back to SmackDown with the Universal Championship, I ain't coming back at all. Cena's coming out here going, I need number 17. And we got a 23-minute longest match on the card fight between the two.
Yeah, it was a great match. Obviously, when I made my big prediction last week, it was before SmackDown aired.
Mm.
Had we heard Reigns was going to leave WWE if he didn't win,
Yeah.
I never make that prediction because we know Reigns isn't going to leave WWE.
It changes the perspective a little bit.
Yeah. I'd say this was much better than the one they had a few years ago. I think this Roman is just on another level, and Cena came back to put Reigns over to put a stamp on that. This is just how good Reigns is become. And the fact that Reigns was able to hold his own so well in the promos leading up to this, I think also rubber stamps how well this run has been for Reigns.
Yeah, this really has been a total and utter reinvention of the Roman Reigns character. And as you say, the match quality with Cena has just been immensely different. John Cena can still go. He comes back. He's still a major draw. I'm sure he made a bunch more money off a new shirt that he printed, or 2 new shirts even, in his very short time here. And then, yeah, Roman Reigns has basically able to say that he's taken out the best of the best. There was no tomfoolery around this. He straight up 1, 2, 3 beat John Cena.
Yeah, the Usos did not show up. That's when you know how good Reigns is. He didn't even need help from the Usos to beat Cena. It was just this was a statement match for our reigning, defending Universal Champion. The problem is what happened after the match.
It's funny you say reigning defending champion, because that phrase is usually used for a different man. Music we've already played.
Yep. Brock Lesnar made a surprise return to WWE after this match.
And made it really awkward for Paul Heyman.
Yeah. Certainly. What can you say? I think this is a logical progression storyline. We always saw the memes of Reigns versus Lesnar with Paul Heyman hanging above the ring, like custody of Paul Heyman match. And I'm like, that's funny. It was always funny to me, but we're going to get a version of that pretty much.
Yeah, it's insane, right, that we're looking at this and we're going, within 6 months, maybe, we'll figure it out. Roman Reigns could headline pay-per-views against John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and if it happens, The Rock. Those are some good opponents back to back to back for this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, the question then is, if Reigns does beat Lesnar, and that's a big if, because Lesnar is the one guy we can't say for certain Reigns would beat one-on-one without doubt. Who would he face next?
Unless we drag this one out.
Yeah. Are they going to bring somebody else back to face Reigns in a never-ending seeming gauntlet of, I return to face Reigns?
Yeah, this return was very similar to John Cena's return in terms of popping up after the match, saying, how do you do? And setting up that next pay-per-view match. So yeah, I could definitely see Roman Reigns beating Brock Lesnar, and then all of a sudden, someone's music hits, and here it is again.
Yeah. So yeah, it is one of those things where it's like, this is a match I want to see now, because this is a different Reigns than the one that faced Lesnar at SummerSlam 2 years ago.
Yeah.
This Reigns has an edge to him. This one could go toe-to-toe with Lesnar. There's also a question of, what does Lesnar have left in his tank? We haven't seen him in over a year.
Yeah, so, and obviously we joked about it as well, just that X factor of Paul Heyman as well. Where's he gonna fall out?
Yeah, who will he end up supporting? Because that could very well decide who walks out of that match as Universal Champion. I think it reminds me of Big Show versus Kurt Angle for the title. When Big Show was champion, he was being represented by then called an agent, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman betrays him, represents Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle becomes champion.
Mhm.
Did that happen again?
It's always possible.
It's not outside. Paul Heyman is a snake in the grass, and he will do whatever it takes to stay on the top. So him betraying Roman, perfectly, you can that's believable.
Yeah, Paul Heyman always bets on the winning horse, and
which is always himself. He bets on himself, and he will screw anybody over that he has to.
Yeah,
that's how ECW was so successful.
Well, we'll have to see what he does going forward, whose side he picks, because for this week we are all out of time. It's been great talking to you.
Bye.
You visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling R&D Up, or our YouTube page, youtube.com/Wrestling R&D Up, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling R&D Up, and we'll see you next week.